The idea of beauty is always shifting. Today it's more inclusive than ever. Whom we deem beautiful is a reflection of our values, and the beauty industry remains conscious of the role it has to play towards that end. Well, this week we explore the many facets to beauty with some of the finest women in the industry and an exclusive performance by an artist who is among the rising stars in the music industry here in Assam. Well, this is Showtime. I'm Aaron Lyngdoh. It's time to meet my guests. She's an award-winning clinical cosmetologist, the founder of Northeast's most advanced and trusted clinic. Brace yourselves for the New York-based supermodel redefining the rapidly burgeoning fashion scene in India and abroad. And a familiar figure creating ripples with her work in new age music, making her household name right here in Assam. My first guest is the head and founder of Lyngdoh Aesthetics, presently the most regarded technologically advanced and trusted aesthetic clinic in the Northeast. Now with services ranging from skin, hair, laser and cosmetic procedures aligned with the latest and safest technology, the brand is touted to be one of the best in the country. Please welcome Dr. Debeshi Bhattacharjee. First of all, Dr. Debeshi, welcome to Showtime.
Thank you for having me.
Well, my first question to you is Lyngdoh Aesthetics, right? It's the most advanced aesthetics here in the Northeast. Tell us more.
Okay, so basically I started that clinic in the year 2019. It was completely out of passion. I loved aesthetic. I loved people to actually, when they come with the concerns, I love to, help them in the factor of not only in terms of treatment, but overall, holistically. So I really adored that thing. So that's how out of passion I started Lyngdoh. So basically Lyngdoh means actually glow.
Lyngdoh.
Yeah, it's a French word, so actually it means glow. That's how I came. So initially I started only with the second floor of mine with only 3 people. So right now Lyngdoh Aesthetic has a whole team of more than 50 people working for us. That's a great achievement, I feel, and I'm very blessed having that team behind me, working day and night for the patients of Northeast, because that was the main focus for which I actually came.
Right.
So give the best, because when I was studying outside, what I felt that people did not get the opportunity to go for the cosmetic and the aesthetic procedures here in Northeast, because for them they had to go to other places where it was very expensive and they were not getting the best of the brands which was available outside but not in Northeast. So I felt that yes, you should do something for your own people where I can bring the best of the technologies here, best of the treatment options here.
Yeah.
So I hope I'm doing that, and I hope to do it till my last breath.
And speaking of treatment, what treatment options does Lyngdoh offer?
Actually, Lyngdoh has all kind of treatment options. It's mainly focusing on the cosmetic dermatology only, mostly on the skin, hair and laser treatment options. There are like n numbers of laser treatments for various concerns like scars, for tattoo removals, for pigmentations and all. For skin we are doing everything from you need to transform your skin from a birthmark, or like you are getting some pigmentation, you have freckles, because pigmentation is a very big concern in cases of Northeast as well. So on those, and for hair mostly we are doing it for hair thinning, because sometimes people doesn't want to go for any kind of surgical procedures. They are little skeptical, they become scared.
Yeah.
So they want to try the non-surgical options. So it is like a hub, I will say. It's all about the non-surgical options we are actually offering in terms of both skin and hair.
Right, and my follow-up question, which is really interesting, because you've already said a lot. So, what's the USP? Then why should people come to Lure Aesthetics in the first place?
So I will never say that you should come to me only. Like, you can go to wherever places you actually want. I never like that, because everybody is good. I will not say I'm the best, because I feel that best never exists. So best is a kind of a illusion word. Like, everybody is good out there. But I feel that I will not say it's I say it, my patient says it. They see ki I am very friendly. Yes, definitely I will say I am a very friendly nature. So mostly people know me from my Instagram. So generally I always post all the videos of my patients, like how they are doing it. So it becomes easier and comfortable for them to understand what the procedure they will go for. Suddenly if I say people, like anybody, suddenly out of the blue, like you have to go for some injectable procedures on your head. So they will get scared. True. But if they see the visualization of it, if they see that, okay, this is the step 1 of it, this is the step 2, this is the step 3, that's how doctor gonna do the treatments on me. So it becomes comfortable for the patients to come and do the procedures. So that way I felt somewhere I wanted to spread more awareness. So I hope I am doing it, and I hope to do it more.
Very interesting. So, when we talk about the beauty industry, a lot of people think that you'll find only products specifically just for women. How true or how untrue is that?
No, I think I have patients, both women and man. Like, I think everybody wants to look good. If I ask anybody here, nobody will say, okay, I don't want to look good. Everybody, actually, main thing is not about looking good in a perfect manner. It's about looking confident. So something, if you feel like, why we dress nice? We are going to different brands. Every day we wake up, groom ourselves, brushing our teeth, like combing our hair in a perfect manner. We wear the best of the outfit. For what? That's only for one thing, that is confidence. Person needs is just the confidence. That's the most important thing actually. So I feel that the word should not be labeled for anyone, not for a man, not for a woman, not for any of the community. It's for everybody, and it should be for everybody. So I feel that no, I have a lot of patients who are men who are grooming these days, because the more the awareness is building up, more the patients are actually coming to like go for those like procedures to enhance themselves.
But in the quest for perfection and in the quest for giving an attention to details, how do you think one should keep perfectionism intact?
Honestly, if I feel like see, perfectionism is varies for different person. Okay. If I see a person, I might find that this person is looking perfect, but some other person is looking at that thing, might not feel it's a perfectionism. So I think it's on the eyes of a beholder. Okay, so I feel that perfection is anyway illusion. You cannot achieve perfection, because every time you go, in terms of skin and hair, if I will say, in terms of the whole journey of it, you will age. And that's the fact. You cannot like say ki I will not age at the age of like maybe 50 or at the 60 I want to look like 16. You cannot. You have to embrace it. So I always say a simple thing. First is accept, then is only correction. You cannot change or correct anything until and unless you accept the problems which you have. So it is very important, because in terms of everything, mental health is also plays a big role these days. So if you are constantly,
it's somehow related, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, it's related. Yeah, it's related. So I feel like should not go after perfectionism, rather go after like accepting it and then like enhancing it. The word should be enhancement.
The word is enhancement, and of course, like you said, beauty lies in the eyes of
beholder,
the beholder.
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So now I want to talk a little bit about the business side of things in terms of, what do you think of the post-pandemic beauty? Your predictions?
See, honestly, in terms of Lure, actually what happened, I have like 2 brands of our own. One is a Lure tea, which we launched for holistic approaches. Okay, it's a blend tea, not only simple green tea, it's like all other different ingredients in terms of different like portrayal of different concerns. Okay, and then it came another brand which is Lovey Glow. Okay, it's actually we are planning to come up with more brand with that, but with actually a product of pandemic.
A product of pandemic.
It's actually a product of pandemic. Actually, how it happened, like before when I was doing my OPDs and when I was seeing my patients, they always used to, I always used to advise them in the diet factor also, because that is also very important for skin and hair. So, I always used to say, you should skip milk products and rather you can like shift to green tea, because those are more on high antioxidant. So, always my patients used to say, ma'am, the taste is very bad in green tea. Like, okay, I agree. So, then I thought, yes, it is a big problem. If somebody, because in place of Assam, tea is an emotion.
Exactly.
It's an emotion for everybody. Tea is an emotion. So, if you are having something, or if you are drinking it, if you are not liking the taste, so it's a big problem for them to have it for a longer period of time. So, then I contacted few factories which can actually the blenders. So, how we can blend the tea in such a form that it tastes good, so that they can have it, which it's not only a tea which will give them a delightful time, but also will help them in health factors and holistic approach as well. So, that's how actually became during the time of pandemic is Leo tea. And again it came the Lavi Glow. It is my own, I curated and formulated that brand basically. So, how it happened that time, we all, because patients were not able to visit. I have lot of patients throughout the Northeast. So, though I had not been able to visit, they were all doing online consultations. So, during the online consultation, the people who were actually doing treatments from me, for them to sustain the result or to maintain the result, it was becoming very difficult. So, I thought, yes, it's a genuine problem, because see, like anybody who is coming to me cannot do the treatment with me whole my life. They cannot, whole their life also, it cannot. They have to stop at a certain period and they just have to maintain it on their own. So, in terms of skin, I found that they can do something at home if I make something like that. So, that's how I came with the brand of Lavi Glow, which is basically home peel.
Let's call it the self-help service.
Self-help, yes. Like it's a home peel which we brand, which was a product of pandemic. So, somewhere I think pandemic made me more creative.
So, how has your own personal routine changed over the years? In terms of beauty, routine, obviously.
Yes, before I was completely a person who used to wear a lot of makeup. Lot of makeup before entering into the whole essay. I think 4-5 years back. So, I told that very much into like people also, that I used to like wear, and because I used to not feel that confident without like carrying my own skin. So, over the years, like I understood less is always more. I don't believe in a concept of using 15-16 things on your skin, on your hair. I believe it should be precise. Use or apply things which is body is demanding, or the skin is demanding, or the hair is demanding. Be precise. Don't have to do so much of things. Don't waste on too much of products. Having a vanity of 100 products, I find it is a waste of money. So, that's how even on terms of me, I use very specific. I have only 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. I am not a person right now, and I feel very confident in front of camera being on my own skin. I just wear a sunscreen and that's already fine for me.
So, doctor, you are also a strong believer in women empowerment. Tell us, to what extent has your aesthetics contribute to that belief?
Yeah. So, actually what I believe, I always say, and my mom always say, like whenever you are in this planet, in this earth, your existence need to have some purpose. Like why you are here, what you are going to do, because your work will represent you in the end. So, on that factor, I always wanted to have a team where as much as women I can empower. Okay, so that was my belief. So, I am very glad today most of my team, actually 98% of the people working for me are female. So, you can see the whole team is like a woman's running here, there. So, it's a glad, because if I am seeing like there are so much of women working with me, their stories, their lives, everything is inspiring me as well. So, yes, I will try my best, because right now there are near about totally, if I see like both the clinics, there are near about 50 people working with me. I hope one day we can achieve more than 50, it's maybe 500 people group.
True. And that brings us to my last question. If you can tell us a little bit of a couple of transformational stories of your patients.
Okay, so transformation, I think a lot of people already have seen transformation series on my actually Instagram. So, recently there was, main thing what actually happens, what I understood so far in the journey of 3.5 years, when somebody is coming with a concern, no, like most of the times it's like melasma or maybe hair thinning or like, you know, acne scars. So they come with a lot of hope, because somewhere they have lived with it, and they compare that ki they used to look good previously, maybe 3-4 years back, and they look at the pictures and they feel very underconfident. They have that like, you know, feel of low feeling, that, you know, like always like they are not been able to look good right now to face the world each day. Maybe they were college students, maybe they are working, because people always ask, you know, like people actually, main thing is that more than them, I think people always like ask, like, you know, what happened to you, like how did it happen, why you are not doing something. So they come with a lot of hope that we can actually give them the confidence back. They are not here to, like, you know, completely changing them. They are coming here to just so that we can give them the confidence back. So those are like lot of cases I have seen on that, like where people are coming with us, like where we have seen, like after when they see the before picture of them, like maybe 3 months back, 4 months back, and then they see the present picture, they are like, okay, so happy, like, you know, like, so right, they seek in right now we can go to the world, you know, like again with that same confidence, with the same, and means like enthu and same energy. So that's, I think, brings the happiness in the end of the day to doctors, I feel.
Well, Dr. Debeshi, I would say that your aesthetics, like what you have here, the glow within, what an insightful conversation. Such a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Debeshi Bhattacharjee was the first in the Northeast to provide FDA-approved high-end equipment and technologies. And she's also the first to bring the most popular and revolutionary technologies from Hollywood to the people of Northeast India. Well, Dr. Bhattacharjee, thank you so much for having me. It's time now for a very quick breather. I will return with the New York-based supermodel known for her extraordinary presence both on and off the set. You won't want to miss that. Well, welcome back, viewers. My next guest hails from Assam. A muse to many designers, she's graced top-notch glossies from the likes of Indian Vogue, Harper's Bazaar and Elle. Well, she made her debut at the International Weeks with Spring-Summer 2020 shows for C's Marjan and a roster of other top designers. Ladies and gents, it's the riveting Madhulika Sharma. Well, Madhulika, how's New York been treating you?
Thank you so much for having me, Aaron. Fantastic. I moved here 6 months before COVID, so I did have some time to explore the city. But when COVID hit and the city kind of shut down, I was able to bike around, explore every nook and cranny, and I think I am a bit of a New Yorker now.
Well, I'm sure you must be missing home. And what do you miss about home?
Well, my family and my friends, foremost and utmost, and followed by just the plains and the rivers and the hills and the lush greenery and the amazing fresh produce, the amazing fresh food.
Now, if I say Assam, what are a few things that come to your mind?
The mighty Brahmaputra River, which I think is the heart of the city. That flows through Guwahati. The warmth of the people, the hospitality of the people, and the beautiful plains, just the beautiful rolling meadows.
Well, fair enough. From political science and economics to gracing several envious campaigns, magazines, and strutting the ram here in India and abroad. Well, walk us through that transition.
I actually had zero knowledge of fashion until I was in college, and a friend of mine came up to me and said, hey, I would love to shoot a couple of portraits of you. And so I happened to post those portraits on my Instagram, and it caught the attention of multiple agencies from India and some across the world. And then I said, oh, this might be actually, this, might prove to be a good, lucrative way for me to kind of make some pocket money. But I just went in with the idea of giving it a shot and seeing what happens. And through the ups and downs and all of the wonderful creators that I've had the opportunity to work with. Today, I've been a full-time model for almost 2.5 years since I graduated.
For the benefit of our viewers, I want you to briefly paint us a picture of your childhood days, especially against the backdrop of the Northeast.
Yes, correct. So I was born in Assam and then raised in Arunachal Pradesh, in Itanagar for almost 6 years. Those are some of the most glorious years of my childhood. I have never been brought up in the lap. I honestly call it the lap of luxury. I've never been brought up in the luxury of nature and just the harmony of nature in that manner ever. And I think it's something that I hold so close and so dear to my heart. Those memories are very fond to me. And then we moved back to Assam and also a giant part of the Northeast. And I'd say that my childhood in general was simple, it was sweet, it involved a lot of self-sustaining activities, picking your own produce, baking your own cakes, making dolls, by hand with your sisters and your brothers, always adopting neighborhood dogs and then giving them vaccines and making them full-fledged dogs that are ready for adoption. So I'd say my childhood was was engulfed in an array of lovely, fond activities.
Now, how easy or difficult was the journey for you as, a small town girl to make it big and even sustain yourself in the fashion industry?
Yeah. One of the things that I will mention is that being from the Northeast has almost proved to be a wonderful added advantage. As soon as I come to the mainland of India and I'd go to the bigger cities of Bombay and New Delhi, the first question I'd be greeted with is, oh my God, I've never been to the Northeast. Can you help me plan an itinerary? Where are you from? What do you do? What was your childhood like? So I think it has always proven to be an icebreaker at most conversations. And I think that's been wonderful for me to be able to kind of be a flag bearer or be a bit of a light that kind of shines for the Northeast of India. So I'm very humbled by that. And then the kind of rejection that this industry teaches you and the tough skin that it gives you as a very young professional is incredible. As an 18 or 19-year-old, when you don't really know how working with, much older people or much experienced people in the industry is like, you have to really prove that you're at your best behavior. There is no room for, of course, you have to learn from your mistakes, but there really is no room for error when you have only 2 minutes to impress a client. So you have to, take care of your physical body, take care of your mind, be at your best behavior, look your best, present yourself at your best. And along the way, you learn, many things. You learn many lessons, and you have to take them with a very headstrong approach.
Just when everyone is so liberal with terms like feminism, championing the cause of women's rights, etc., what are your thoughts on that?
Great question. I think I have been very lucky to have been brought up in the Northeast, where I would say that the society almost leans a little bit towards a matriarchal system. And it has, yes, and it has taught me the importance of having a very strong women-centered life, where I think, we are independent, we make decisions for ourselves, and we seek out opportunities that can also create a longer table instead of a higher fence, if that makes sense. We almost embrace more women and we almost bring more women into the table so we can all work towards each other and together towards a larger cause. I've seen that with my mom and the Young Glory Foundation that she runs and the incredible women that she's been able to empower through the 2 decades of work in handloom and textiles. Within the industry, though, feminism has taken center stage. The dark, exploitative underbelly of just patriarchal standards within the industry have kind of faded away. There is still a lot of work to be done, but there are some incredible movements like He for She, Time's Up, which is by Natalie Portman, that have all been able to do some wonderful work in kind of spearheading women's rights and women's and just like a very, I would say, a very liberal feminist approach within the industry.
Now, this is my favorite question. Would you agree with me that modeling is short-lived? Now, how do you see one dealing with that uncertainty, which is, of course, again, a reality?
You know, Aaron, today diversity has taken center stage in casting, and I think it has, there's a lot more work to be done. But today I see on set people of all backgrounds, women of all sizes, men of all sizes, people that are older, some that are younger, everybody come together on set to create imagery. So I would say that, yeah, so I would say that the industry is definitely expanding in terms of casting. But in terms of what my personal agenda out of modeling is, I've always thought of it as a means to an end. I've always thought of it as something that will, help me create a wonderful, robust network and then branch onto whatever else I want to do.
Madhulika, what are some of the most memorable projects you've done so far?
Well, I think one of the most exhilarating, moments as a young model, as somebody that was 18 and a half at that time, was for me to shoot my Grazia cover in India. It labeled me as India's fresh face in fashion, and it kind of spearheaded my career. And I think that was one of the most sweet memories. The second one would probably be shooting a Condé Nast cover in the central highlands of India, so around Madhya Pradesh, where I saw my first Royal Bengal tiger. It gave me goosebumps. It was such a beautiful moment. And maybe my first New York Fashion Week show experience. I did a show for Sis Marjan and then for Zimmermann, and both are brands that I've always admired from afar and designers that I have huge respect for.
Well, you're currently also working on a solo research project on the intersection of diversity, consumption, and mental health. Tell us more.
Right. I think it comes a little bit from my experience in, dabbling into political science and economics and just kind of following up on reading even after I've graduated. I've noticed that within the industry of fashion, there's just so much pollution and so much fast fashion that's been generated each and every single day that it almost affects the consumerist lifestyle. People consume more at a much faster pace and also discard more. So the idea of sustainability has kind of lost its meaning, although it is seeing a resurgence again now. And within that framework of kind of keeping up with, all these trends and shopping so frequently and polluting so much, my mental health is almost affected in a way that people feel the need to kind of show off who they are and, keep up with the current trends of society. And so I think it's a very interesting trifecta of where this industry is going. So I'm trying to explore that in my research project.
And lastly, before I let you go, what's next for Madhulika Sharma?
Wow, that's a great question. I'm always asking myself the same question as well, because I really like to live each day as it comes. But I think maybe dabbling into theatre and film and acting. Or it could even be an entrepreneurial venture. So we don't really know. We'll find out.
Well, currently based out of New York City, Madhulika continues to champion the causes of women's rights, hunger and poverty alleviation through her various involvements. Madhulika Sharma, can't wait to see more of you. We will take another short break here on the show. Coming up next is the prolific poet, lyricist and musical artist whose craft is making noise for all the right reasons. Welcome back, viewers. This week, I invited the genius who believes that music, verse and lyrics can create magic. Now her poems have been published in leading Assamese literary journals and have also been translated into other Indian and foreign language and published in international literary magazine and media platforms. The one and only Maitrayee Patar. Maitrayee, first of all, welcome to Showtime.
Thank you.
My very first question to you is talk to us a little bit about habits that have helped you, especially in terms of music and your writing.
Yeah, that's straight away jumping to basics. So if I have to talk about habits, like as a musician and a writer, my basic habit is reading. So I read a lot and I listen a lot. So, and it can be to music, it can be to people and all forms of sound. So I have a natural affinity towards sound, words, books. So anything that is related to sound and words probably. So interestingly enough, I didn't start it with an intention of getting into music or into writing or poetry, but I think I was just inclined to it since childhood, and it has helped me in the long run. So it's funny how in childhood when I would read the in Assamese we call it Bahira Kitab.
Okay.
The books which are outside your course, school course. So I would have books slipped in behind or under my school book, and I would read them. So I had novels and poetry books, and we were not supposed to do it. So that time my mother would ask, what will you do reading this? You should read your school books. I had no idea what I will do, but turns out that they really helped me. So I really value my habit of getting in touch with books and my listening to all sorts of things.
So what officially then sets you on that journey to get into writing full time, if I may put it that way?
I don't know if you can still call I don't know what is an official writer. I know I just write, and I'm very fortunate that sometimes it's liked by people. And it's nice to be relatable, if you would relate to that. If I write something, or if I say something, or I sing something, and somebody I don't know, I will consider people who don't know me also relate to those things, or I resonate with them. So that is an achievement.
And that
for
comes
me.
from experience, I would imagine. You know what I'm saying? For example, what you've been through yourself.
Sort of. Yes, definitely.
Right?
First time experiences. So, yeah.
And I want you to talk a little bit about your project, which you and your band are doing at the moment.
Yeah, so continuing from the last question, I was supposed to tell you also, it's not about being formally being a writer, but I did get my first book of poetry published in 2015. But that was again a work of some 10 years or so. So I had been writing since I was a child.
I think it's a process that takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time, yes.
When you actually have
it's
to
the
put
right
it out
fruit
there.
that you put forward, right? So that, and then I published my second book also. So yeah, it's nice to be recognized and appreciated. Other than that, also probably I would have written. So yeah.
That comes to my next question, which is music transcends boundary. Would you agree to that?
Yes, definitely. I mean, just before this interview, we were talking, right? Because I am mostly into writing and I write lyrics to songs. So I would often wonder, I love Scandinavian music. I love all kinds of folk music around the world, and I have no idea about the language of
the same way I don't understand
Assamese.
but I enjoy listening to Assamese songs if I hear them. You know what I'm saying?
So one good consolation for me was that, as I said before, even if you don't understand what the language is saying, there's a music to the language. So the way it is pronounced, the way it is thrown, or the way it is put into certain rhythm, it does something to your ears and your soul. So I think that is where the effort lies of words. Just to put, that is why we have a dictionary. One word will have a synonym of 10, 11, 50 synonyms. You don't use
all of them.
So you use the right word so that even if you don't understand, it's like, oh, wow, that must be something. So
I'll quote you. You said in one of your interviews, finding a balance between music, poetry, and academics has been very challenging for me, as these demands most of my time. Being a woman doesn't make it any easier? Give us context.
So it is, it's not only because, yes, I did say that, being a woman doesn't make it easier, but I think generally also juggling is a tough thing to do, you would know. But I think that is the fun part also, because it challenges you as a person and it challenges your capacities.
Right.
So I would always keep pushing myself, you know. So I have to find out time for reading academic papers. I have to find time to listen to what is the current music going on in the scene, and also poetry. So I enjoy, personally, if you ask me, I enjoy it. So yeah, that is the challenge and I enjoy the challenge.
See, I spoke to you offline, and there's so many things that we discussed, but there's one realization that I don't know if you'd agree or disagree. I feel that very few people get to do what they love for work.
Absolutely.
Would you consider yourself fortunate enough?
I am blessed. In one word, if you ask me, I am blessed, because I think people spend a lifetime trying to find that calling, and I won't say that it came to me.
I like it when you say that calling, because it's always the calling that you have.
I'll tell you why I regard it as a calling, because I was talking about overtime, right?
Yeah.
When you do something, you forget time. So if you're doing it as a job has a timeline, right?
Exactly.
9 to 5.
Exactly, a 9 to 5
But
job.
I don't do music 9 to 5. If you make me do music, you will benefit from it, because I will stretch it till 9 at the same price.
True, very true.
So
True.
that is my
Yes.
calling. So I consider myself lucky that even if I exploit myself as an artist, I don't feel bad about it. So that is what work should be. Otherwise, I mean...
See, again, coming back to another discussion that I had with you, we're still in India. Can artists in the Northeast, especially as musicians, do it full time?
So yes, a lot of my friends have been doing music full time. And see, Aaron, I'll tell you something. It is also about what you want,
Right.
and how you design your life around, right? There's no limit to wantings, and there's no limit to how much you want to attain. But I think for a lot of people doing music at this stage, my generation, it is about fulfillment a lot. And we are in a very good time of music though, in Northeast. Just to add.
Even post-pandemic?
I'll tell you why.
Yeah, okay.
Because the music has decentralized itself. You don't need to go to a studio anymore. Okay, the cost is cut. So you can, if you are skilled enough, you can produce your own music sitting in your living room.
I agree.
So, and it is, a lot of digital platforms have come up. Okay, like online streaming platforms. So if you're good at your skill, which is a must, by the way.
It is.
You are bound to generate a certain revenue which will sustain you. And this I'm telling from experience. Like my own band, all of them are full-time musicians.
Okay.
And they're doing well. It's not like, you know, yes, that is where like what you want from life comes from. But if you want to sustain and do good music, because that is what you want to do.
Sustainability, yes.
Yes, it can sustain you if you have that skill. So.
Coming back to the discussion we had earlier, how do you connect music and poetry?
Okay, so I have written this song. Originally, I have not sung this. This was sung by my friend Shankuraj, and I'm so thankful to the people of Assam and actually the country also that it was really loved by everybody. So if there's any mistake, pardon. Agoli bota hai khorale supohi kajoli jopadu sukur potat ধেমালি চলেৰে কৰে নুতি পচি নিচুকনি গীত জুৰি যায় শয়নত দুটি নয়ন মধুৰ দুগালতে আউজিলে হিৰোত ভাগেনে চিকুনে শুন টোপনি তোমাৰ মায়াময় সাহৰু মেয়ানে যাযাবৰি মোৰেনো হেপাহক বুটলি সামৰি তোমাৰেনো কাষৰলে উভতাই আনিলা জীয়াই তুলিলা মোক জীয়াই তুলিলা মোক জীয়াই তুলিলা এই ৰিক্ত বুকুতে বাসনা ঢালিলা মোৰ তেজে তেজে হিৰে হিৰে বল প্ৰেমৰ ৰকানন্দা। Thank you.
talk to me a little bit about the independent music scene here in Assam.
It's very interesting at this moment. So when we were growing up, we had only heard about independent music and the struggle related to it. I think there's still struggle, but the present times have opened a lot of avenues to experiment, to collab. First of all, earlier, collaborations with big stars would have been really difficult.
True.
And you would not know where to go, which door to knock. Now things have become decentralized, and it is easier to reach out, or they reaching out to you. So I think it's definitely improving, and we also have to be very careful about the lot that is coming out of that kind of access, because when you get too much, you have to filter. But then you also have to trust your own ears and your instinct as a listener. But I think overall it's a better time we're in.
And finally, I'll quote you again because I'm a family person myself. You said in one of your interviews, our childhood was not of abundance, but it definitely was of fulfillment. What's the story?
So yeah, that is what we have been talking about. No, it's what you want in life. And I think coming from the kind of background that I have, it was very limited resources, and it sort of gives you a grounding throughout. Whatever you do, wherever you go in life, it keeps your toes, your wings can fly in the sky, and your feet will be still on the ground. And I think I am that kind of a person. I like that, and I have to thank my parents for that, my sister. So whatever I do outside, I step inside the house, and I am nobody to them. I like that. And it's the same with my in-laws. So I receive a lot of love and care, and this is just as humans. And I think that is very important for me to grow as a person, as an artist. You're not pressurized to be something. You just can be yourself. I think everybody deserves that. So, yeah.
So, what will you be performing for us today?
So, yeah, I mean, since I'm here, so I don't compose usually.
Okay.
And the first composition that I had released, my own composition, like lyrics, compositions and vocals, was in 2017. That was like 5 years ago. And everybody keeps asking me, why don't you compose? And I'm very particular. I'm so scared to,
But you've taken a lot of risks though.
Yeah, I mean, but I took my time, and there was this tune that was coming to me since the last 1 year. And I finally finished it. If everything goes well, it will come in this season only.
All right.
So I think I can hum some of it to you.
Let's hear that.
And this will be exclusive because I have not performed it anywhere else. It's not released also.
So yeah, before I start, I would just give a tiny disclaimer. I don't play the ukulele very well. It's just for the scales and it's very basic, so just saving myself from beforehand. All right. रूपोही सहर काहिनी तेउ जाने ने आथा जुनो एंधरे बिसरते केते जाने ने सुमदिले गोपने उठते देउ दे फुरा हुन्नता जाके बोया मोर जुनाकियेउ खालोले कोपिले रूपोही सहर ভাল পোৱায়ো খাপালে सहर देउदी घर सिरिका केनिउरा मारे माथुतेउ जाने आरो जाने मने 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 रूपोही सहरर काहिनीतेउ जाने ने आधा जुनर एंधारे बिसरतेउ केतेउ जाने ने কোজাগুৰি প্ৰহৰ এই আকুলতা আধৰুৱা প্ৰাণ এই নীৰৱতা রোদ ঘাই দিনবোৰ আগুৱালে দুঠেৰে সামৰি থবনে ভাগৰুৱা চহৰৰ উশাহ ৰূপহী মোৰ চহৰৰ সুৰ মাথোঁতেও জানে জগৰৰ চকু পানীবোৰ নিচুকাবলে মাথোঁতেও জানে খিৰিকী মুখত আহি জিৰণি লোৱা কৰে চিৰিকাৰ কাহিনী কোৱা শূন্যতাৰী উপচাৰ জোনাকে আদৰে মুকলি কৰা ভাল পোৱাৰ সুবাসে বিচাৰে কি পাহৰে কি ধৰি ৰাখে কোনে মাথোঁতেও জানে আৰু জানে মনে মাথোঁতেও জানে আৰু জানে মনে মাথোঁতেও জানে দাৰাৰাৰাৰা দাৰাৰাৰাৰা দাৰাৰাৰাৰা
Well, Maitrayee is also the co-founder, composer and lyricist at Project Vartalap, a musical record company based in Mumbai. Maitrayee Patar, thank you for dropping in. With a long way to go still with the pandemic, the beauty industry and the music industry stands at a unique crossroads. The millennial and Gen Z consumers of today are well informed and they understand what they want, and hence it is imperative to deliver on efficacy and visible impact. And that's exactly what all my guests on this episode embody. Dr. Debeshi Bhattacharjee, Madhulika Sharma and Maitrayee Patar, more power. I'm Lyngdoh. You're watching Showtime. I shall see you next week. Until then, take care.